Hey internet, fair warning, I'm going to say the word shit a lot in this video, so brace yourself. Sorry, Grandma. But yeah, I'm going to talk about shitcoins because there's been a lot of renewed interest in shitcoins lately with BRC20s on Bitcoin and, dog whiff hat token on Solana or wherever it is. But I just want to address what the definition of a shitcoin is and why you should stay away from shitcoins and think about your life in terms of shitcoins. So, what is a shitcoin? Is it Shiba Inu? Well, yes, but no. Is a shitcoin Ethereum? Well, yes, but no. Really, the definition of a shitcoin is, in my head, something that, when priced in Bitcoin, slowly trends to zero over the long term. Now, this does not mean that there's not going to be shitcoin pumps and shitcoin dumps that happen short term, but I mean long term. If you price it in Bitcoin, is it going down and to the right? That means it's a shitcoin. So, by my definition, if you look at Ethereum, if you look at Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, obviously all the BRC20s, price them in Bitcoin and they're all going down and to the right. Now, that's kind of obvious, but that doesn't take into account the other things in life that I believe are shitcoins, like real estate. Real estate is a shitcoin because if you price it in Bitcoin, you get less real estate over time with the same amount of Bitcoin. I feel like this is almost just too obvious for people to understand. They're like, yeah, of course, Bitcoin is going up. If I price something in Bitcoin, it's going to go, down and to the right. But once you really take that into account and really take that to heart, and you realize that you're spending what you could spend on Bitcoin on a shitcoin, aka something that goes down into the right, priced in Bitcoin over time, it makes you start to rethink a lot of your decisions. Um, let's get creative. iPhones are shitcoins. I mean, iPhones are useful. They actually you have a reason to buy them because you communicate and you get on social media and take pictures and blah blah blah. But in terms of an asset, an iPhone is a shitcoin because over time it's taken less and less Bitcoin to buy a new iPhone every year. Let's look at um, any other stock in the stock market. Let's take I don't know, Ford stock. Let's price that in Bitcoin, and it's a shitcoin. It's down and to the right. What else? The U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is a shitcoin, obviously, because it takes way more U.S. dollars over time to buy Bitcoin. So, I mean, now that I'm recording this, it's like, yeah, it's Captain Obvious, but I really encourage you to think about your life in terms of shitcoins. Like, think about the opportunity cost of the things that you're buying today, and how much Bitcoin will be worth in the future, and how much you're giving up for short-term gain in shitcoins today. And the other thing to note is, um, when it comes to these shitcoins, especially the BRC 20s, like when I talk about iPhones or real estate, those are just examples of me basically saying I'd rather put my capital to work by buying Bitcoin instead of real estate or Apple stock or iPhones or anything like that. But when it comes to the BRC 20, and it's not just on Bitcoin, right? It's on Ethereum, it's on Solana, it's on all the chains. These are zero sum grift, often pump and dumps. These are, you have to remember that every single time a token is bought, someone is selling this. This is not like you're not just buying things like with no consequence. You're buying it from someone who likely made it with no opportunity cost for themselves. And that's what makes Bitcoin not a shitcoin. That's what makes Bitcoin the only thing that is not a shitcoin, because you actually have to put in something to get something. You have to put in computing power, you have to put in electricity, you have to put in work in order to create Bitcoins, mine Bitcoins, acquire Bitcoins. This is what makes it not a shitcoin. And yeah, I just think people are not aware of, we can make any token right now. We can make on-chain cowboy token, which I will never do. If you ever see that, that's not me. I would never do that. Um, and we could go and tell all our friends it's worth something, and we can, I'll keep. It'll have a $5 billion market cap, and I'll keep $1 billion for myself, $1 billion for my homies, $1 billion for my friends on X, and it's like sell the rest of the 2 billion, and that is a zero sum grift shitcoin. I mean, if somebody can name me one shitcoin, maybe I don't know, um, Nvidia stock. I don't know. Like if you can name me one thing that priced in Bitcoin actually is not down and to the right, then let me know. I'd love to hear. But for now, I will be spending my US dollars and my resources and my time and my energy to acquire Bitcoin and not to acquire shitcoins because Bitcoin actually has intrinsic value. So, yeah, if you want to trade it, be my guest, but don't expect to make any money and just stick with the orange coin. Just buy Bitcoin. Cheers.